Jesus Christ, whose name stands at the center of Christianity, is not only a religious figure, but also a source of inspiration for all of humanity. His teachings remain relevant through the ages, guiding people worldwide in understanding the values and purpose of their lives. His life is an example that teaches us how to express love, compassion, forgiveness, and peace in both our personal and social lives. Jesus Christ's message reminds us that we are all human, and we must treat each other with equality, unity, and tolerance. By following the path he laid out, we can not only improve our own lives, but also bring about positive change in society. His life symbolizes truth, love, and service, and continues to inspire individuals to become better human beings. In this video, we will take a deep look into the life of Jesus Christ, his teachings, and the messages he shared, which remain an invaluable heritage for humanity today. His principles and lessons teach us how we can fill our lives with peace, love, and understanding. 1. Love and compassion. The most important teaching of Jesus Christ was love, and he always taught that love should not only be extended to our family, friends, and neighbors, but also to our enemies. His message was a profound one for humanity. Jesus said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." This teaching is particularly relevant in today's society, where diversity and cultural differences exist. In a country like the United States, where there are different races, cultures, and religious beliefs, this lesson gives us an opportunity to understand that we should love others without discrimination. It is a way to unite all people and promote equality. Jesus also taught, "Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." This message tells us that love should have no boundaries. Even if we dislike or hate someone, we are still called to be kind and compassionate toward them. 2. Forgiveness. Jesus Christ emphasized forgiveness as an essential value. He said, "If you forgive others, your heavenly Father will also forgive you." He believed that forgiveness brings peace to the heart and is more powerful than hatred or anger. According to him, if we harbor hatred and anger, we lose peace within our souls. This message is particularly relevant in societies like the United States, where there are often conflicts and differences of opinion. The practice of forgiveness is the path to true peace and understanding in society. Even in his final moments, Jesus set an extraordinary example of forgiveness. When he was crucified, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." This example teaches us that we should forgive others unconditionally, regardless of how badly they may have treated us. 3. Nonviolence and peace. One of Jesus Christ's most powerful messages was nonviolence. He taught his followers to never resort to violence under any circumstances, but rather to resolve issues with peace and understanding. His famous teachings include, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. If someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also." Jesus' message is an important reminder for today's violence-affected societies, particularly in countries like the United States, where there are sometimes conflicts between citizens and law enforcement. His teaching emphasizes that true strength lies in peaceful resistance, not in using violence. He also said, "Bless those who curse you." 4. Justice and equality. Jesus always spoke about justice and equality. He stood for the poor, the orphaned, and the oppressed, showing that every person's life is equally valuable. He believed that we should treat everyone equally, regardless of who they are. His teachings are especially significant in diverse societies like the United States, where racial inequalities and social justice issues persist. Jesus said, "Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." This teaching encourages us to stand up for the vulnerable and the poor, fulfilling God's will in the process. Jesus Christ's teachings remain relevant in today's world. His message motivates us to walk the path of love, forgiveness, peace, justice, truth, and service. In diverse and multicultural countries like the United States, by embracing these teachings, we can create a better and more equal society. By living according to Jesus' ideals, we can not only improve ourselves, but also help society move in a positive direction. 5. Truth and integrity. Jesus Christ always placed the highest importance on the value of truth. He believed that when we are true, we are not only honest with ourselves, but also with our society. He said, "The truth will set you free." This means that truth gives life direction, and when we follow it, we can find inner peace and balance. Jesus Christ lived a life of truth, whether in his personal life, or in his relationships with others. He always spoke the truth openly, even if it caused others pain. His life serves as an example, teaching us that following the truth is never easy, but it leads us to true self-realization and a deeper relationship with God. This message remains relevant for our society today, especially in times when we face the spread of false information, political deception, or personal selfishness. Jesus Christ's teaching reminds us that truth always leads us on the right path, even if that path is difficult. Therefore, we must prioritize truth in our lives and never stray from it, no matter the circumstances. 6. Humility and servanthood. The life of Jesus Christ was an ideal example of humility and service. His teaching was that if we truly want to be great, we must bring our greatness to the service of others. He said, "The greatest among you will be your servant." This means that those who consider themselves the highest should use their position to help others, rather than exerting control over them. Jesus Christ himself set an example of servanthood. Even though he was the Son of God, he presented himself as a servant, always helping people. He taught his disciples that if they were true followers, they should humble themselves and serve others. He not only spoke these words, but also demonstrated through his actions that true greatness lies in serving others. In developed societies like the United States, where competition and personal success are highly valued, this teaching remains crucial. In such societies, people often focus on their own success and personal gain, but Jesus' message teaches us that true success lies in working for the benefit of others. Practicing humility and service not only brings compassion to others, but also fills our own lives with peace and satisfaction. 7th, prayer and spiritual connection. Jesus Christ made prayer an essential part of life and considered it the most effective way to build a spiritual connection with God. He taught his disciples that prayer is not just the utterance of words, but a deep spiritual conversation that brings a person closer to God. He said, "When you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen." This teaching emphasizes that during prayer, we should be free from external distractions and connect with God with full focus and devotion. Jesus also taught that prayer is not just for fulfilling personal desires, but is a means to know God's will and to experience self-realization. He taught that in prayer, we should consider God's glory and the well-being of others, not just our own interests. In today's fast-paced and material-driven world, Jesus' teaching on prayer is highly relevant. Prayer is a tool that leads us to inner peace and reminds us to maintain a personal relationship with God. 8th, spiritual awareness. Jesus Christ always emphasized the need for spiritual awareness. He said, "Man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." This means that instead of focusing solely on material things and the consumption of worldly possessions, we should care for our souls and pay attention to God's words. Jesus taught that the true purpose of life is not just to seek material happiness, but to progress spiritually and follow God's guidance. Spiritual awareness is not about believing in a particular religion or faith, but about understanding our inner condition and the purpose of our life. When we connect with ourselves and understand our inner life, we can improve our outer life as well. Jesus also showed that spiritual awareness is not just for our own benefit, but it improves our relationships with the world around us. In today's materialistic and fast-paced world, Jesus' teaching reminds us to set our priorities right and place greater value on spiritual growth and our relationship with God rather than on worldly possessions. 9. New life and rebirth. Jesus Christ taught us the need for new life and rebirth in our spiritual journey. He said, "You must be born again." This teaching meant that we must leave behind our old habits, mistakes, and sins, and move forward in a new direction. Jesus explained that when we reshape our lives according to God's will, we become a new person and realize a new purpose in life. The message of new life explains the process of spiritual rebirth, where we transcend our old limitations and purify our souls. This teaching shows us that we can always improve, and every day offers a new chance to make our lives better. This message is especially important in today's society, where many people feel stuck in the regrets of their past and struggle to move forward. Jesus' message reminds us that every day is a new opportunity to transform our lives. 10th, faith and hope. Jesus Christ always emphasized the power of faith and hope. He taught that when we have faith, we can face any difficult situation. He also taught that without faith and hope, it becomes difficult to deal with life's struggles. But when we trust in God, He gives us the strength to overcome any hardship. Hope is a powerful force that continually motivates us to move forward. Jesus believed that if we start any task with faith and hope, we can overcome every challenge in life. His message teaches us that despite difficulties, we should never lose hope, because God is with us and will guide us according to our needs. Today, we have discussed 10 important aspects of Jesus Christ's teachings. Through these teachings, we not only receive spiritual guidance, but also direction in our personal lives. Jesus Christ taught us about values such as love, forgiveness, peace, truth, humility, service, faith, and spiritual awareness. By understanding His teachings, we can bring change to our lives and have a positive impact on society. By following these teachings, we can strengthen our spiritual lives and contribute to building a more peaceful, loving, and just society. Remember, Jesus Christ's message teaches us that the path of love, compassion, and service leads to true greatness. When we embody these values in our lives, we not only improve ourselves, but also make the world a better place. It is a privilege for us that you watched this video. If you liked it, please share it with your friends and family, so that together we can follow this great teaching. Thank you, and may God's blessings be with you.